People complain about things all the time, right? With so many things going on in our lives, there's never a shortage of things for people to complain about on their private story. Some people complain about the weather being too hot. Other people complain about traffic being so bad. And some people complain about everything being so expensive. And to be honest, that's like everyone right now, right? But there's one thing that everybody seems to complain about. No matter what you do or what your daily routine looks like, everybody's always complaining about being tired. Nowadays, there's more of a cool factor that people use to signal how busy or how important they really are. With the structure that being tired has created, I feel like a lot of us have been convinced that being tired is something to be proud of and that we should broadcast how tired we are and let people know that we've been doing a bunch of stuff, so now we're super tired. This really got me thinking about the whole concept of being tired, and it made me beg the question, are we all actually that tired? Alright, in reality, some of us are actually that tired, right? Some people get 4 or 5 hours of sleep, so by the end of the day, their batteries is already running out and they're actually tired. But for the most part, in reality, nobody's that tired. Instead, we always talk about this feeling of chronically feeling tired, right? That feeling that no matter how much sleep you get, your body doesn't ever seem to have enough energy to get you through the day and through those tasks. Now, this feeling is something that most of us should expect to have by age 60. Instead, when I walk into my 8 a.m. class filled with college students in their 20s, all I see is a room filled with energy drinks and iced coffees. And to some extent, I generally feel like some people are either exaggerating or just faking being that tired. So I decided to dive deeper and understand what are the things that make us feel tired and what can we do to have a more energetic feeling every single day. So when researching for this video, I found that there are many factors that contribute to you feeling tired or energetic, but among all of these different factors, it really just boils down to 3 main things. And those factors are sleep, diet, and exercise. Now, before you click away from this video because you already know that those obviously are factors that contribute to you feeling tired, understand that there is no secret medication or secret formula that's gonna make you not feel tired. Instead, in order to fully understand how can we have a more energetic day, we need to revisit the basics and build a lifestyle that fulfills all 3 factors. So the first thing I want to talk about is the role of caffeine in our lives and how people misuse or misunderstand caffeine. Caffeine is the most consumed drug in the whole entire world. Entire countries such as Brazil and Colombia rely heavily on the exportation of caffeine for their GDP. It's a growing industry and is by far one of the biggest traded commodities worldwide, and researchers say that this industry is not getting any smaller. Alright, so you might have heard this from your mom or maybe from a friend that you shouldn't have caffeine after 7 p.m., right? Because your body needs to cleanse off all that caffeine from your system. People usually say that it takes around 5 to 7 hours for your body to get through that caffeine, and that if you drink any later than that, you could have a hard time falling asleep, right? But in reality, it takes 5 to 7 hours for your body to cleanse only half of your caffeine intake. It then takes another 5 to 7 hours to flush out the remaining caffeine that's in your system. You would have consumed around 173 milligrams of caffeine. And by the time you hit the sheets at 10 p.m., there would still be around 86 milligrams of caffeine in your system. So what people get wrong about caffeine is that the effects of caffeine in your sleep aren't exclusive to just you not being able to fall asleep. Most people don't drink coffee after a certain time because when it's time to go to bed, they just kind of lay on bed and don't really fall asleep and they're kind of just looking at the ceiling or watching TV. But what people are getting wrong is that one of the worst effects of caffeine when it comes to your sleep is that caffeine makes it harder for you to reach a deeper sleeping state. In the middle of the night, that's when we want to be having our best, deepest sleep. It is during this time that the brain works to create new connections and retain all of that information that you've been bombarded with throughout the day. Caffeine makes it harder for the brain to enter that deep sleep state. Thus, you're kind of missing out on all the benefits of a good deep sleep. Now look, I'll be the first to recognize that I have a really big affinity for coffee. I enjoyed hot coffee, cold coffee, espresso. I also enjoyed trying different roasts and different brands of coffee. So at this moment, I've been really into Verve Coffee. They're off of Santa Cruz and it's honestly so good. It's definitely on the lighter side compared to other coffee shops like Phil's Coffee, but you should definitely give it a try. Anyways, I got a little sidetracked over there. In order for me to fight off the side effects of caffeine on my sleep, I'll have my first cup of coffee at around 7:30 a.m. right after my morning run, and I might grab another cup at around 11 to 12 p.m. depending on how so much a crackhead do I want to feel that day. But most days, I'll just stick to that 1 cup in the morning. Alright, the second thing I want to talk about is sleep. We talked about caffeine and how caffeine affects your sleep, but what about the sleep itself? Well, one thing that's important to touch on are the circadian rhythms. The circadian rhythms is what we normally call our body clock, which is responsible for waking us up when it thinks it's daytime and winding down down, getting us ready for bed when he thinks it's nighttime. Now, the best way to completely mess up the system is tricking your brain into thinking it's daytime when in reality it is nighttime. And consuming blue light right before bed will do exactly that. If you have been on TikTok, you have probably heard that one thing that could help with sleeping issues is supplementing melatonin into your diet. And the reason why melatonin works is because melatonin helps your brain realize that it's nighttime. So it starts that winding down process that gets you ready for bed. But if you're watching TV, YouTube, or just scrolling through social media right before bed, chances are you will struggle with falling asleep and you probably won't have a very deep sleep. Look, if you're anything like me, your life is filled with school, work, business ideas, content creation, and many other things. And I'm not gonna lie, if you want to achieve those goals and ideas, late nights and early mornings are gonna be a regular thing, at least during the week. So getting those recommended 8 hours probably isn't very realistic. I know that for me, staying up late and working on video ideas or editing clips or making designs for my brand are pretty common, and that will usually put me at around 6 hours of sleep during a week. To make up for that sleep though, I try to maximize the quality of my sleep every night, and I do so by limiting my phone usage around 45 minutes before I go to bed. I'll turn on the fan to make the room cooler and just give me a more pleasant sleep state, and I'll sometimes also play like rain sounds or white noise. Those usually really help, especially when you feel like it's so quiet, so it's so easy for you to get distracted by like the littlest sounds. I'll usually fall asleep within like 15 minutes of laying in bed, but whenever that doesn't work, I tried the military sleep hack. If you have never heard of the military sleeping hack, it works miracles, I promise you. It's insane. Whenever I do use the military hack, I'll be asleep within 2 to 7 minutes. It's insane. Now, have you ever gone to the gym, given it all you got, and then when you got home, you were just so done and so tired that you just passed out? It feels great, doesn't it? It feels as if you're asleep for days, like hibernating. Not only does exercising help you get into a deeper sleep, but exercising is also really good in helping your body determine how much energy do you need to get through the day. If you are a very active individual, your body will know that you need X amount of energy to get through all of your exercises and tasks. But if you're somebody that lives a very sedentary lifestyle and you don't really exercise and burn those calories on a consistent basis, your body won't dedicate as much energy for you throughout the day and you will eventually feel very tired. I know it sounds kind of crazy, but the more energy you spend in a day, the more your body will learn to reserve for other days. I exercise around 5 times a week for 2 hours. I do want to improve that and start working out on the weekends. I just really haven't built that habit yet, but that is something that I do want to implement. I would recommend for everyone to have at least 30 minutes of daily exercise. That could be lifting weights, but that also could be just going for a walk. Exercising has infinite benefits for you, not only physically, but also mentally. I do Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, for example, and I feel as though whenever I'm on the mat, that time is truly my stress reliever. And within those 2 hours, my mind doesn't think about anything else aside from improving my technique and trying not to get choked. Alright, so I don't really want to add to all the noise around what you should and what you should not eat, because a lot of dieting has to do with genetics and gut health, and what works for me might not work for you at all. Now, this is not to say that you're not responsible for living a healthy lifestyle and taking care of your body. Whenever you do get advice or tips on dieting, try it out, see if that works for you, and if it doesn't, that's okay. If somebody doesn't take care of their body, something that they live with and look at every day, I honestly would not expect a higher set of standards coming out of them. With that said though, here are some changes that I made to my diet that have really helped me living a healthier lifestyle and looking the way I want to. Alright, so obviously everybody likes sugar, right? Now, rather than going keto and just avoiding sugar altogether, I try now opting for natural sugars and just eating less sugars overall. So before, whenever I was really craving sweets, I would usually buy Reese's or have ice cream, right? Now I usually have strawberries, blueberries, pineapple, even lemons, really. Another thing that is really important, and I do feel like sometimes people don't really pay attention to this, myself included, is drinking enough water. I would say try to drink around 3 liters per day. That's 12 cups, and that is not that much if you space it out throughout your day. You could nail exercise and sleep, but if your diet's really bad, you're still gonna feel tired and not really feel like energetic and motivated to go do things. So if your diet consists of frozen foods, refined sugars, and vegetable oil, there's a high likelihood that your body is still not gonna feel very energized and you're not gonna be your peak performance. Make it a priority to eat high quality foods filled with fiber, protein, and greens, and you're already gonna be 80% on track to stop feeling tired all the time. Try implementing these habits into your life. Let me know how that goes, and click over here if you wanna see a video on this crazy recession right now.